This year there are some fabulous fall footwear trends, and if you love shoes as much as I do, then you're going to want to hear about these. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome to my channel. Now today I'm talking about one of my all-time favorite topics, and that is shoes. Now, as I said earlier, there are some amazing trends heading our way and some that are here already, but I thought it was probably a good idea to wrap up all of the key new season trends in one place. So you've got a good handle on what you can expect to see now and in the next couple of months as the weather gets colder. Now, I've always been a huge fan of shoes because no matter what happens with my dress size, if I put on a few pounds or lose a few pounds, my shoes always fit me. And for me, comfort is very much key. So most of the trends that I'm covering off today are definitely built for comfort. There are a couple here that are perhaps a little bit questionable, but they are still very wearable. There's also one trend here which is personalized, and it is amazing. And I haven't heard anyone else talking about this trend, so stay tuned for that. But instead of me rabbiting on, let's just get straight into these trends. Now, Western detailing has certainly been making a comeback in fashion in the last couple of years, and so it's no surprise really that cowboy boots are a huge trend for the season. Now, in particular, I am seeing two different styles, or types I should say. So there's a huge trend towards metallic cowboy boots, which I am totally here for. I think it sort of just takes them a little bit out of the saloon and onto the streets and gives them a little bit more of a fashion edge. That's the metallic I'm speaking of. And the other type of cowboy boots that I seem to be seeing popping up are kind of two-tone colorways. So definitely colors that are making a little bit of a statement, that are kind of moving out of the traditional realm of cowboy boots as such. So in my opinion, cowboy boots are a timeless boot as well. The metallics give them a little bit more of a fashion edge, and you also have that versatility in that metallics work back with anything you're wearing. So I love that aspect too. But number one, and quite possibly my favorite footwear trend for the season, is metallic and colourful cowboy boots. Now the next trend is also a real goodie, and it is lace-up combat boots. Now Vivienne Westwood sent her models down the runway wearing them, and while they're nothing groundbreaking and new, I do think a good combat boot is a great way to give a feminine outfit a little bit more of a harder edge. And obviously there's that practical component as well, where a combat shoe is made for the cooler months. So stomping around in more of a chunky combat style boot, there's, as I said, lots of lace-up boots. There is also some buckle detailing as well, so anything that's kind of got a little bit of hardware is definitely going to work and be on trend as well. So if you own some of these boots, drag them out from the closet. I've got a couple of pairs of combat boots that I know are going to cut it this season. So combat boots, lace up or buckles are definitely going to be your best friend. Love the practicality and love the fact that they just add a little bit of an edge to an outfit. Now next up, and I did touch on this earlier, is personalized sneakers. Now in particular, I recently saw Zara has this personalization thing going on. They've got some really cool leather sneakers that are very simple, not too much detail, and I've talked in recent videos before about sneakers being a really good essential. So a good sneaker or trainer is going to give you lots and lots of options with outfits. And obviously there's that comfort factor there as well. But these Zara sneakers have some great personalization. So you can have your name embossed on the tongue of the sneaker or on the side of the sneaker, or your initials. It's just a great way of kind of making them your own or putting your own stamp on a sneaker. So I've put personalized sneakers here as one of the trends. It is a trend. Sneakers are a trend. And if you don't want to go down the sort of Adidas Samba route or the high tops, the Air Jordan high tops, if you want something that's a little bit more unique and a little bit more personal to you, then definitely check out these Zara sneakers. And at this point, I'd just like to say a very big thank you to the team at Babel for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. Now, if you haven't heard of Babel before, they are one of the world's top language learning apps, and it's an app that I've become really familiar with in the past few months. In fact, I have been trying to learn how to speak Spanish with the sole purpose of helping my son learn Spanish. So he is 17, he's at high school in the US, and he is learning Spanish this year and finding it pretty tricky. So I've been using the Babel app to really get up to speed with the language myself so that I can help him out. It's been super fun for me to be able to connect with him on a different level and to be able to help him with his learning. There's not much that he's learning these days that I can help him with, so being able to give him a little bit of guidance and help him with his Spanish has been super fun. I chose the Babel app specifically because it's scientifically proven to teach you a new language in as little as 3 weeks, and it's only expected that you need 10 to 15 minutes a day to learn that language. Now this suited me perfectly because I am busy and I don't have hours and hours to try and go through textbooks and learn another language. So Babel makes it really easy, and also the other great thing about it is that it teaches you conversational language, which is exactly what my son is learning. I tend to have a bit of fun with the app at night when I've done all of my work during the day, and I kind of use it as a little bit of a treat time for me. But the really exciting thing is that the team at Babel are offering you a 60% discount off your subscription. So all you need to do is click on the link in my description box below and you will qualify for that 60% discount. So if you were considering learning a new language this year, then this is a really great offer. And hand on heart, this app has definitely been a game changer for me. Someone who hasn't learnt languages growing up, this is something that I have found surprisingly easy. So definitely get amongst it, take advantage of that 60% discount. All of the links and details are in the description box below. Oh, and just out of interest, what language would you like to learn? I would love to hear about it in the comments below. Okay, we've seen a lot of ballet flats happening in the last couple of seasons, and what seems to be happening for fall, winter, or certainly the closer we head into winter, is that they are being replaced by more of a pointed leather flat or a kitten heel. Now I do know that I've talked about these particular shoes a little bit on recent videos, but they work, they look great. They are the perfect shoe teamed back with some of the looser slouchy trousers that are in fashion at the moment. Certainly they work back beautifully with a cargo pant or a cargo style jean. But think about these low profile, flat, pointy or kitten heel slingback shoes as a really versatile option for the season. Now it's just a shoe that's going to give you a little bit of femininity, so quite a contrast from the combat boots. So it will give you that femininity, but it's also still going to give you that comfort factor as well. And next up is your classic Mary Janes. Now I've seen every version of a Mary Jane on offer this season. So from something with a little bit of a heel or even a wedge to an absolute flat, and in my opinion, a Mary Jane, a classic Mary Jane, just adds a little bit of Hollywood glamour to an outfit. And again, it's just a slightly elevated take on stomping around in an ankle boot or your combat boots. It's a feminine, classic style of shoe. And the reason I love them is the comfort factor, but also the fact that these are a timeless shoe. So as I always say, when something is on trend, it just means that there are more options out there available for you. So if you love the look of a Mary Jane, there is everything imaginable on offer at the moment, from metallics to velvet, you name it. So go and have a good look. A Mary Jane is an absolute classic to own. And if there was one particular shoe trend that seems to be dominating this season, I would have to say it would be wedges. There is every type of wedge imaginable, from over the knee wedge boots to wedge style ankle boots to straight wedge mules. There is really something for everyone in the way of wedges. So if you are looking for something a little bit different and with a bit of a heel, a wedge is a really good option. Of course, it sounds like I talk about comfort all the time, but it might be because I do. Of course, a wedge is going to offer you some comfort and stability as well. So definitely have a little look at the wedges on offer. There is something there for everyone. Now next up, and this one is a bit of an outlier, but I had to mention it because I keep seeing them everywhere, and that is denim shoes. Now, we all know that denim is just everywhere at the moment. So whether it be denim blazers, vests, jackets, jeans, cargo jeans, top to toe denim looks are definitely where it's at. So it was really only a matter of time before we saw some denim shoes popping up as well. And certainly spring, summer, I saw quite a few denim slides happening, and that now has morphed into a denim ankle boot, a bootie, an over the knee boot, and also some denim bags I've seen, which are very cool as well. I'll pop up a few options here that I've seen, but I do like the idea of a denim boot or a denim shoe. I think that it's possibly something that you may tire of quickly, and potentially it's probably not as practical as some of the other footwear that I'm mentioning in today's episode, just purely because a shoe like that in winter isn't necessarily the most practical shoe, but I think that they're cool. If you really want to make a style statement, then definitely take a look at some of these denim options. A lot of the fashion for this season seems to be inspired by kind of classic menswear styling, so it's no surprise really that brogues and man style kind of loafers are definitely trending as well. Now, I know this particular trend will probably scare some of you off because it's just a tad too masculine, but I do think that a classic brogue is something that will never go out of style as well. So if this is a particular look that you could see working into your outfits and to your lifestyle, then it does make sense to me to invest in a really good brogue. Certainly a good lace-up brogue is going to just see you through many years of good quality wear. So think about these man style options in terms of teaming them back with some of the other classic styling that we are seeing on trend this season. But these man style kind of brogues or your classic brogues and loafers are very much where it is at as well. I always struggle with loafers, I've got to say. I do tend to find them a little bit tricky to style. Let me know what you think of loafers. I see them styled beautifully everywhere, but I do think that they require a little bit more effort, especially a little bit more than a classic lace-up brogue. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, this trend kind of took me by surprise, and it's almost hard to even describe it as a trend, but there seem to be lots of designers that sent models down the runway this season wearing a classic black court shoe. Now, I know a lot of you will probably own a classic black court shoe, and so that's kind of good. I think that that means that it's an easy option to style back with some of your outfits. Of course, it's not going to be for everyone, and I often steer clear of suggesting a black court shoe because it can sort of be a little bit heavy, or the black can be a little bit heavy and kind of kill an outfit. But I think in this instance, and teamed back with sort of more of a 80s, 90s aesthetic, it definitely works. Like a classic black court shoe worn back with neutrals, with blacks, whites, greys, navies is always going to be a good look. So I wanted to mention black court shoes as a trend today because I think a lot of you will own them, and if you do invest in them, they will never ever truly go out of style. So black court shoes are back. Now, last but definitely not least is the trend for wearing rubber-soled shoes. And in particular, these are like waterproof, rain-style booties. And I'm here for them in a very big way. I think the humble rain boot, gum boot, whatever you call them, has had a modern makeover for the better. So these boots obviously are really practical. You will need some warm socks on underneath, but they are obviously waterproof. They're going to be really functional. I don't suspect that you would want to walk too far in them, but they are a really good option for the cooler months. So that's why I'm a fan. I do think it was time for the gumboot rain boot to have a bit of a modern makeover and give it more of a fashion edge, and that is exactly what has happened. So now you've got a really good handle on all of the footwear trends this season. One of the things that is really important is to make sure you don't create outfits that look frumpy. There are some simple things that you need to do to just tweak your outfits and tweak your style so that you can always put your best foot forward. So click or tap on the screen here and I'll see you there.